Hey there, so today I want to return to that wonderful world of anime. And today I want to return once again to the periphery of the Vic Mignogna situation to talk about this, to talk about an update to the GoFundMe that we've been discussing. Because yeah, I want to showcase exactly what's being said and the reality versus the fantasy. Before we get to that, however, if you like this kind of content, if you say to yourself, that umbrella guy, I love what you do, I love your content, well, thank you, first of all. Second of all, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell for daily notifications. If you want to go further, if you love this channel and want to help it out, which you're under no obligation to do so, there are links within the description. One of those is the Case of the Littlest Umbrella. This is our first comic tryout. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it has been met with a lot of support. So thank you. I appreciate that. The brigaders out there, the gatekeepers, they haven't been able to keep us from being successful, and that is because of you. Now, if you look at this, again, I'll talk about this at the end of the video, but if you look at it, you'll notice at this tier, there are actually 2 comic books attached to it. So go in and check that out if you want to, and I appreciate that. More on the end of the video here. So, talking about this, talking about the GoFundMe. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on, essentially what you have here is someone that says they were harassed because they started up KickVic. They went out and talked about it for months at a time. They received blowback with videos, and oh my God, blowback, that is the worst thing you could ever have. Not only that, but apparently utilizing their image. Utilizing their image like right now here. Apparently that, without their permission, oh no, that basically puts you in the crosshairs. Now, what's interesting about that is utilization of this, it comes with fair use coverage. Like right now, talking about this that has been put out there in the public, yeah, that's allowed. Moreover, somebody that's out there that has been reviewing things for years upon years, they're a public figure. This person is a YouTuber. This person has put out these pictures that you're seeing in thumbnails and on, and they think that that is monetizing their image, which actually doesn't work that way. They don't understand how that comes together. They have apparently been told by someone, at least by their story, that they can sue for $1,500. $1,500, you can get a retainer and you can go out and try to assert legal dominance over people. How? Well, that'll be an interesting thing to see play out. Now, my money is actually on this being a doxing attempt. This trying to go out and showcase someone's name, because if you go out and you attach professional to personal, well, you can intimidate many people. It's been very interesting to look at this kind of stuff too. People that are out there as professionals, they want to scream about these things being their personal accounts if you go on Twitter and on. But if you're out here anonymously and you talk about stuff, no, you're a monster, and we have to attach things to your life and destroy you. Very, very interesting. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an update to you. And when I read this update to you, I'm then going to show you a bunch of examples about a certain YouTuber out there that has been brought up over and over again, and wondering how exactly that person can be brought up and that not be actionable, but the stuff out there with videos, that be actionable. So let me read this. Update. Thank you, friends, for your extreme kindness and generosity. This blew past my expectations already, and I'm extremely humbled by the support I've seen over this past day. I'm excited to be able to give the law firm the retainer fee of $1,500 as soon as that money deposits. While unexpected, I am grateful that there is a buffer here so that the firm can begin working right away on this particular case. I will be glad to give the basic updates as they come, and will update again when the money deposits and the firm has been paid. I think what is most important about what's happening is this isn't truly about me. Actually, I think that That is going to be something that will be an interesting lesson, because it will become about you. It will become about you. And well, if you're talking about this amount of money, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what'll happen when litigation starts actually coming out and you have people that are going and countersuing. I think that will truly show something. But continuing, I think that if you've already donated, you probably already know that. It's not about me, and it's not about mean people saying mean things on the internet. I have been doing this whole internet content thing a long time, and while mean things hurt, they aren't necessarily always actionable. Heck, this is all new to me. Who would want to go through this? But the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of innocent people getting hurt. I'm not the only person who has been affected by blatant mistruths being spoken by a select few, or the angry hate groups causing death threats and harassment. So in that, number one, people getting hurt on the internet. What about Vic Mignogna? Did that guy not count in any way, shape, or form when you talked about him for 4 months now? Does that guy not work into that equation? See, your own words say that this stuff and the threats and on that he has gotten because of it, you would be actionable. You would be the person responsible. You go and claim that. See, for myself, if I'm talking about you and people think, oh my God, that's a reprehensible person there, that's not me telling them to do anything to you. In fact, I've made it perfectly clear. I do not abide or tolerate any type of harassment within that. I don't believe in death threats. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't believe in doxing or deplatforming either. But hey, that's all beside the point there. What's interesting is in this, when you've been talking about this too, when you've been calling a guy dangerous and on, does that mean that the response that you have given people when they're going to try to deplatform, when they're telling people to try to deplatform, does that make you accountable for their actions? As they've gone out and threatened the guy and on, when they said that they want to hurt him and other things, does that make you accountable? Because what you're saying here is yes. Yes, it does. Continuing, I wasn't the first target, nor was I the last. A lot of people are feeling the effect of it and have been hurt and afraid. I do not know what those individuals will choose to do, but I hope that I was in just the right position to be able to ensure that placing normal civilians in a state of terror is not something that can be allowed to go unchecked. Normal civilians in a state of terror. Are you kidding me with this kind of statement? Normal civilians in a state of terror. You join in a public lynch mob. In fact, you give it a name, #KickVic. You talk about what kind of image that evokes, and you share pictures of exactly how that image evokes violence. But you want to talk about that not being the case. That's not the thing here. But continuing on, I do not fully know what will happen, but I do know that I'm in a position where I have to try. Thank you for entrusting me with that job. I will keep you updated on all things coming in this matter. If you would like to continue to share this campaign, you may. I will begin to get billed for the work that the firm is doing. I will be sharing that billing so you can be assured of how much is being spent and that this is exactly where it's going. Thank you again very much for your love and support. Please be well, everyone. This is going to be very interesting. Basically, what you're doing is you're promising litigation against, I'm going to assume, 2 people, at least with anonymity, myself and probably Yellow Flash in there. I would say Yellow Flash is your first target, myself in there, possibly a Hero Hey, definitely a Ricada Law. So it's going to be an interesting dance. One that, hey, if you want to do that, when you lose, you'll be responsible for quite a bit there. It's going to be an interesting thing to explain too. I mean, when you go out and you talk about someone like, say, a Yellow Flash, when you say stuff about good old ex-Comicsgate women in comics stabbing Yellow Flash, when you've gone out and you've talked about him, not one time, saying also, I've pissed him off. He's again the leader of Comicsgate, left Comicsgate when it was boring and unfun. And now, this guy guy out here, he's truly, all of these terrible ideas. Then you talk about flagging them down on YouTube and how you need to get that going. You also talk about profitability in that. You talk about, again, bringing in other people to try to help out because of big name YouTubers. And you talk about alt-right conspiracy theorists. When you're talking about alt-right conspiracy theorists too, that's going to be a particularly fascinating thing to bring up when you get to that place where there's actually some kind of litigation. Because when you have to prove all of these things that you're saying about people, that's going to be a lot of fun, especially when we talk about what these things mean. When we talk about what you're saying about people being current year, quote unquote, Nazis in a time where, the lexicon about this, the societal lexicon, it basically has people punching Nazis. There's all this stuff about Vic even going full alt-right and on. I mean, that kind of stuff again, Then you're talking about the guy, legit being dangerous and on, him actually being dangerous to other people, feeding this response to them, as well as going out telling people to flag down his channel, all the way back in February, and talking about him in videos saying, hey, this guy cutting up a comic book. No, what he actually did is, and you go in and you spread this idea that this is him stabbing through, quote unquote, the pages of comics, aiming at women's breasts. Because he's going to be mentally unstable. That kind of stuff, it's going to be really hard to shop. And it's going to be really hard to shop as you not going out and not defaming someone. You not trying to go out and trying to harm someone, but those people, they're trying to harm you. Moreover, again, going out and claiming the monetization of images, that's going to be a particularly fascinating claim as well, considering, things like this. This is not the monetization of your image. This is actually covering a GoFundMe. When you talk about someone in something and you go and you use pictures that are in public forum, you're also allowed to do that. You can do those things. You should actually look and see exactly how that works. But then again, there are law firms out there that would take your money. There are also, PIs that would probably do that. It'll be really interesting to see where that lands. I'm wondering how people, when they see that, what they think of all of this, with that update and on. It's been interesting, too, to see exactly who stands up and tries to push this, considering now we've seen 3 anime news network people. We've actually seen, of course, DC Douglas, who, with a very sketchy past, could easily end up on a certain spreadsheet. He actually, I'm surprised, hasn't had that simply because of recording. And well, Sean Schimmel, you're talking about a guy who they were discussing on Tumblr. Yeah, the guy that they pointed the finger at because they were going to come at him too. Yeah, that guy, he would have ended up in the crosshairs as well. I mean, you folks need to wake up. All these conventions and stuff, you need to wake up to this. I mean, you see these brigaders. We have 13 examples are where KamehamehaCon, they were came after by this person. You have HawaiiCon, HawaiiCon actually gets the brigading too. You have other cons as well. You've had Anime Matsuri mentioned, of course, and other ones. And, I mean, when you put all of that together and you ask what was supposed to happen, well, look at the videos. Look at the messages. There were going to be more people. There were definitely going to be more voice actors. But hey, live in that state of denial. Because ultimately, if these people decide to come at a Sean Schimmel or a DC Douglas, I still will believe in due process. But me, I will not speak up about it. I will definitely choose to remain silent. I will cover it, but I definitely will not stand up and say, yeah, we need to draw a line here. Those people, hey, they can stand on their own. But anyhow, you tell me what you think about where this is, where it's going, and on. If you like this kind of content too, again, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you're subbed. make sure you hit that bell for daily notifications. And if you want to check out the links in the description, one of those is this. Again, you're offered something with it, so you're not going out and just giving money. You know, there's a Patreon as well. You get stuff for that. I mean, that's one thing I want to offer there. This, of course, again, Case of the Littlest Umbrella. All ages, Lovecraftian tale, which basically, when you talk about that, doesn't mean kids. It means for everyone. Everyone can enjoy it. You have 2 comic books attached here. There's another one that's an ashcan version. This, it basically satirizes everything that went on in comics, and well, I think you would enjoy that too. But check those out. Also, like I said, give me your thoughts on all of this, because this crazy, it's just getting started. I mean, wow. And a lot of people are falling all over themselves to expose where they stand, even though they're supposed to be unbiased in all these situations. Ending this too, I want to thank you for showing up. Communities make this stuff possible. Communities are the people that basically are the lifeblood of channels and on. And well, the people out there, they show all the time that they forget you. You have professionals that forget how to be professional. You have all these activities that basically leave you behind. And well, that basically loses money. For myself, I do not want to be those people. I do not want to set you aside within these endeavors, because you make this channel possible. You make this community possible. So closing here, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll do this again soon. Thanks.